Hey everyone, and welcome to RUBIN'S Mind Lab, where we break down the latest research into what it really means. Ever wonder why it is so hard to care about people far away, like those suffering in another country or a different part of society? Well, this new study might have a clue. Imagine this: we tend to help people we know, our family, our friends, our neighbors, but when it comes to strangers, especially those who are different from us or live far away, our willingness to help shrinks. This is called parochial altruism. It means we're helpful, but mostly to our own group, and it leads to a huge problem where millions of people with basic needs are ignored, while those who are already doing okay get just a little bit better off. This bias isn't just about giving less, it can also lead to prejudice and even hostility. Now, researchers have tried different ways to fix this, like bringing people from different groups together or encouraging them to imagine being in someone else's shoes. These methods can help a bit, but studies show their effects are often small, don't last long, and don't always spread to other groups or situations. For example, playing soccer together might make people nicer to their teammates, but not necessarily to all people from that other group. And imagining someone's feelings might help in one specific situation, but not necessarily generalize. So what if there's a different way? What if we could teach people to be more thoughtful and fair in how they make decisions, especially when it comes to others? That is exactly what this research team set out to explore. They developed an intervention called Systematic Moral Reflection, or SMR. The big idea behind SMR is learning from our own past choices. Think about it like this: when we make a decision, especially a moral one, we often don't fully consider all the consequences, especially for people far away or those we don't know. SMR is designed to make us pause, look back at a past decision, and really think about how it affected everyone involved, and how we even made that decision in the first place. It is like a guided self-critique for our moral choices. They ran several experiments to test this. In the first one, participants made a decision about volunteering their time to help people in need. Then some of them went through the SMR process, reflecting on their decision. Afterward, everyone made a similar decision. And guess what? The group that went through SMR were more willing to volunteer their time in their second decision compared to the group that didn't reflect. It seems that by thinking about their first choice, they learned to be more helpful to strangers the second time around. What kind of lessons were they learning? Well, many of them realized they should prioritize the greater good or those in the most need. Others learned to make decisions more deliberately and to put others' well-being above their own. And here is where it gets really interesting. The lessons they learned seem to be the reason they became more helpful. The more they learned to prioritize the greater good or act more deliberately, the more their subsequent actions showed it. It wasn't just about the lessons learned, but how they started making decisions. After SMR, people tended to consider consequences for friends and family less important in their second decision. And they thought about the decision more. They weren't just being more calculating, but more considerate of others. This was great, but it raised another question: would these benefits transfer to different situations and different groups of people? That is what Experiment 2 aimed to find out. They had participants make a volunteering decision. Then some reflected using SMR, and then they made a donation decision to a different charity, helping a different group of people. And yes, they found a transfer effect. People who went through SMR donated more money to the new charity, even though it helped a different group than the one in the first decision. Their willingness to help strangers increased, and they showed less of a tendency to discount the welfare of distant others. Again, the lessons they learned played a role. They learned to value impartial help and to prioritize vulnerable people, even if they were distant. It showed that SMR wasn't just teaching them to be nice to one specific group, but to adopt a more generalized approach to caring about others. Now, all these studies so far use hypothetical decisions. But what about real-world impact? Experiment 3 was designed to answer this. They compared SMR to other well-known methods for reducing prejudice, like empathy induction and perspective taking, and they measured real donations to charities helping transgender people and immigrants, and even checked back a week later to see if the effects lasted. Here is a huge finding: SMR actually worked better than empathy induction and perspective taking when it came to motivating people to donate their own money. It wasn't just about feeling good or imagining being someone else. SMR seemed to foster a deeper change in how people decided to act. Even more impressively, the benefits of SMR transferred to groups that were never even mentioned in the intervention. People who reflected on helping transgender individuals also showed more positive attitudes towards immigrants and LGBT people. This suggests SMR is building a more general capacity for caring. And did it last? Well, some effects did. A week later, the improvements in how much people valued the welfare of transgender people and their willingness to interact with them remained strong. While the real donation effects faded a bit, the underlying change in valuing others' welfare persisted. Now, it is important to be critical and look at what this study doesn't tell us. First, they inferred the mechanism through mediation analyses, meaning they didn't directly manipulate the lessons learned part. Some measures were also based on hypothetical choices, though Experiment 3 did use real donations. The effects, while significant, were often small to moderate, and the long-term durability beyond a week is still being explored. Also, all participants were English-speaking adults in the US, so we don't know if it works the same way everywhere. So, what is the big takeaway here? This research suggests that SMR offers a new way to encourage us to care more about distant others. Instead of just trying to change how people feel or think about a specific group, SMR teaches us to change how we decide. It is about learning to pay more attention to the needs of those far away and giving their well-being more weight. Think about it, a single session of SMR had a positive impact. Imagine if we did this regularly or even used tools like AI chatbots to guide us through this kind of reflection. It could make a huge difference in how we approach social problems and treat each other, especially those who are often overlooked. This could be a powerful tool for teaching kindness and cooperation across all sorts of social divides. This is really exciting research because it offers a practical and scalable way to build our capacity for compassion. It is not about forcing people to feel a certain way, but about empowering them to make more considerate and fairer choices. What do you all think about this systematic moral reflection? Does it sound like something you'd try? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this breakdown helpful, please give this video a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to RUBIN'S Mind Lab for more insights into the fascinating world of psychology. We'll see you in the next one.